aka Eileen Little Crafter. Additional information about art crafts and everything in between can be found on my website, eileenlittlecrafter.com. Thank you so much for watching, for joining me, guys. Sorry, oops, coffee needs to kick in. Today I'm going to be talking to you about DC Universe's streaming service, and in particular, I'm going to be talking about Doom Patrol. That's exactly what I'm going to be talking about, Doom Patrol. DC Universe's Doom Patrol. I'm probably late to the game on this one, but I was going to talk about last week, and, well, actually, it started a couple of weeks ago, so I actually watched all, I think it was 3 or 4 episodes, and, because apparently they're doing the same thing, that they did with Titans. They're doing the same thing, so it's a weekly, thing, where you have to wait, 7 days, so that is a pain. No, technically yes, and technically no. I mean, it's the same thing, it keeps you engaged, that's exactly what television shows do, so the only good thing is that I could wait, for a couple of days if I want to watch, 1 or 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, I'll skip this week and wait for next week so I can watch 1 or 2 episodes, so, I have to say, I think that for me, personally, was the smarter thing to do, because I think that just in the beginning, in my opinion, just the first episode alone, I probably would have been turned off by it. It just kind of was, I don't know, in your face. It was just way too, but let me just start by saying, this particular show, I would definitely not let the kiddies watch. In the first, 5-10 minutes, you get to see how raunchy this show is. It does contain adult content, and it's just, it was a good thing I was watching it at night, where my son, even though he's 14, I still would not be comfortable having him watch that. Yeah, it's just oh no. Yeah, I was like, holy cow. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, yeah, so I was like, no. Cause honestly, guys, it doesn't have a rating system, and I don't know if that's something that's okay for younger viewers. If you, I don't know. I mean, okay, yes, I know you're supposed to be, monitoring this stuff, and I get it. You're supposed to be monitoring, make sure that they're watching something age appropriate. But if you watch it and then, I mean, what if they were watching it and you didn't know? Or, some days we slack off as parents, stuff happens. But anyways, I was like, because we're not perfect. I needed that coffee. Wake it up. Anyway, so like I was saying, Doom Patrol, definitely the first whatchamacallit, was definitely not for the kiddies. This one. And so I would definitely not recommend this for anybody who is younger than 16. 16 even then gives me the heebie-jeebies, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, Doom Patrol, definitely I would not have your kiddies watching this one. Not only that, even if there was no sex scene in there, there is a lot of cursing, so therefore if you're not comfortable with your kids listening to that type of language, you can also may not want to have someone younger under the age of 16 watching that as well. But all in all, I have to say that it has a very interesting plot. It has good storyline. They're pulling from, I guess, different types of the backgrounds from the characters, from the comics, which, as you guys know, I only read, the different backgrounds from online sources. I'm not really a huge, comic or manga person. So therefore, I love my animes and I love my action, series or action animated shows. Therefore, like shows like Doom Patrol and Titans is basically where I would actually. I don't know. I'm not. I like to read. Don't get me wrong, but I just never got into that. I don't know why. I tried a couple of times, but anyway, that's neither here or there. So okay. Okay, so as you guys know, basically the story is each individual character has their own little origin story, and you get into a little bit of the robot who is played by Brendan Fraser. Who it's interesting to see him in a role. I always thought that he would make like a good voice actor, in my opinion, even before his downward spiral, which I don't really know about, but I've heard that he ruined his own career. Never understood that, but anyways, moving along. I always thought that he would make a good voice actor because his voice, the way he projects it, is really good in my opinion. So he basically, you get a chance to see him. He's a race car driver. He gets into the accident, and then you get to see you get to hear a lot more of his voice. And pretty much throughout this whole series, between Jane and him, they're the huge curses. But so he thinks that he doesn't really know what happened in the accident. So the one that they call Chief, who's played by one of my favorite actors, I don't get to see a lot of him in a lot of different movies, but I do really like him. I always loved him as James Bond, and it was a shame that they didn't continue with him. Timothy Dalton, I believe. I'm hoping. And I loved him in Penny Dreadful. Just, oh my goodness, I loved him. Like, I was so sad to see that show end. I thought that it was so stupid of them to end it that way, and apparently there's rumors about another type of Penny Dreadful coming around. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, I kind of think I know the premise of it, but anyways, that's neither here or there. Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm like off on a tangent these days. Like, brain, get it together. Alrighty then, let's get it together. Okay, so he plays the Chief, and he's basically and he's paralyzed. He's in a wheelchair. For the waist down, he is paraplegic. Sorry, want to make sure I say that, pronounce it properly. So he's in a wheelchair, and he runs basically like a place or a home for what they call themselves, misfits, people that the world would not understand. He has Jane, he has the actress, and he has Invisible-Man, and who was played by one of the actors from Suits. I also believe that he was in that movie with Tatum, which I never saw, and everybody says, "Oh, you should watch it." I'm like, I don't know. The one where he takes off his clothes. What else? Then they have the... Oh God, what is his name? And you have Cyborg in the mix, which I didn't know that Cyborg had branched out. I thought that he was part of another group, which I forgot the name of. It wasn't the Titans, it was something else. I think it was Titans East, but correct me if I'm wrong. You could always leave me a comment down below. But anyways, moving right along. And I love the actor that they chose. I always forget his name. That they chose to play Mr. Nobody. He's really funny. Great sense of humor, and I think that the cast is really good. Elastigirl, I've never seen her before, but I love her character. I love the details of having her still stuck in that era. I think it was like the 50s or 60s when the actress started, act. I don't know, like the origin story of her kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I kind of feel like it's a little lacking. It's not as in detailed. I kind of feel like I'm wondering, is it like, because they were filming in Africa and she was really arrogant and just, like all about her looks. And I'm wondering if it was some type of curse of sorts, like, I don't know, like something in the water got her. And I'm like, okay, but what was it? Like, what kind? Was it a chemical, bacteria? Like it just never really. I don't know. Like I was reading it, I'm like, that's it. I'm like, okay, I guess, but I don't know. Like, not Crazy Jane, on the other hand. Whew. That is a heck of a storyline. That is a heck of an origin, and whoa, Nelly. That is a hot mess happening. But I love the actress who's playing it. She plays it so well. I really, really, what is that? I could believe that she's Crazy Jane. There was this one, one of her characters, personalities, let me not call them characters, personalities, because she does have a split personality. So if you guys haven't watched it or know about her, sorry, spoiler alert. With her storyline, it's pretty sad, and very traumatic, so I'm not going to get into too much details, but I will get into the part that each personality somehow, she's like 38, was it, or 38 or 40, and each particular personality has their own superpower due to some type of alien experiments or some type of bomb going off from aliens, and they each have their own superpower. And I'm like, oh. So apparently the dominant personality is Jane, but she has no powers. But she within herself may not have powers, but she's like kind of the most in control. And I don't think Baby Doll has any powers, because one of her other characters that comes out and seems to be really close with what is that? Mr. Robot, I think it is. Brendan Fraser's character, because of, I guess, his daughter issues. Anyways, sorry for that little spoiler alert. Because, hey. So they seem to get along really well. They connect, on a good friendship level. But Hammerhead, which is, I think that's one of her personalities called, I know it's Hammer something. Anyways, he particularly doesn't like him, the robot, and he basically, it tells him basically to stay away from Baby Doll, Jane, this period, because we know that you're trouble. I think that it's because, they're having some type of bond and connection, and they don't, he, with that particular personality, doesn't want that happening, because, he is trying to protect Jane. I don't know if it's a he or a she. I think that, I'm gonna say she, but, yeah, so that particular, personality doesn't want that happening and is really mean about it. There was one scene where they're looking for Chief because Chief is missing after this whole calamity, and it's just crazy. And she's putting up posters, and the people know that they are part of the reason why that particular incident happening, strange happenings is going on. That's what I wanted to say. Wake up. So anyways, like I was saying, and they're behind her screaming and yelling, and she's putting up posters. and she turns around and she nails a poster into someone's head, like literally. Yeah, so I was like, what in the heebie-jeebies? Because Hammerhead got mad and was protecting them and just said cacao. I was like, oh, okay. So like I said, Jane's personality doesn't really, but she seems to be the more dominant one, and she's in control, and therefore, don't know if she's the whole package, like if that's the real person or if she is another personality. Don't know Jane's story per se, but it should be really interesting. Okay, so in the middle of all this, they're looking for their chief. Cyborg comes on, and he's trying to help them, and he's trying to get them, to be a team, to work together, because he really values Chief. He feels that Chief is like a mentor. He's the only one that really cares about him deeply. He kind of feels that his dad's only concerned about him getting into the Justice League, and yeah, that something's not amiss, but right between him and his dad. And he's like, no, I'm rebelling against that, and I'm not coming back. So, yeah. So, they're staying in the middle of all this. The Chaos Mage comes in. Basically, he's kind of like a kid. He seems like another, to me, anyways, what the vibe that we were getting, me and David, we were getting, that he's basically kind of the same thing as, Constantine. But I don't think Constantine was a Chaos Mage. I'm not 100% sure. I gotta find that out. It was a pretty interesting story about Kit. Anyway, so the end of the world is happening, and it has to do with also possibly maybe what is going on with the disappearance of or possibly a subplot of why Chief has disappeared. So it has like this kind of moments, and it gets into a little bit of each character. And honestly, you don't even know if Chief is helping them or just putting them together for something that he already knows is happening, or he's just experiments. You really don't know if he's a good, bad guy, or just an opportunist, using them because he knows that something is going to happen, and the world is definitely going to need these guys, and they need these guys. They don't feel like they are ready for it, especially Elastigirl. She's like, no, we're not even heroes. We're just a bunch of misfits thrown together, and we don't have no skills, yada yada yada, and it's just insane. But she does seem to be coming around, especially when Cyborg is like insulting her as she's melting, but then she gets the courage and she's like, no, I'm not gonna let him do this to me. I'm gonna prove him wrong. And she is always up for the challenge, in my opinion. I think that she's just stronger together. And when Cyborg, kind of gets in her head, she's like, no, I'm gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna be strong, and I'm gonna prove him wrong. It works out just fine. So, she also seems to have a really good connection between Invisible-Man, and he has a very interesting story, and I would like to definitely know what is in him, like what is going on with his character. I definitely would want to know more. I think I read, but I don't know. Like, I want to know where they're going to go, which storyline they're going to take. It seems really interesting, and yeah, it's not a terrible show. I have to admit, it's not a terrible show. Just certain things are just a little wonky. It just goes a little slow, then it goes a little fast, and it's like. But they do a lot of backstory-ish type things, so you kind of get the full picture of what's going on. So you're not literally scratching your head like, what the hey? So yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. If you look past like certain little things here and there, it is good. It's good. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's an okay show. I wouldn't recommend, like I said, anybody under the age of 14. There are some strong language, some content that may not be suitable for younger adults. like I said, the first episode was really raunchy. Like, holy camoli, I did not think that would be even possible. Well, technically, I don't know. Like, I mean, you see stuff like that in the movies, but at the same time, I guess maybe because it's a DC show, and, you know, I didn't think... Why am I... Like, DC is getting a little more mature as it goes on. So, yeah. Anyways, it is what it is. I'm not going to be a prude, but I just, like I said, I was just kind of glad that I was watching it while, this was going to bed, because I would have been like, oh, don't look. Like I said, it just took me a little off guard. Anyways, so it is not a bad show. It is what it is. Lot of stuff going on with it, and I cannot wait to see the next episode. I think the next episode is already up. It's on episode 5 already. Like I said, I'm late to the game, but I'm kind of glad that I did that I got. I don't think I probably would have made it past the first episode. I just was like, what am I watching? Like, I just... okay, what the heck is going on? So then I kept on watching. Then I'm like, oh, okay. Now you're picking up. All right. Okay. And now I'm like, oh, I want to know what's going on. Like, what is going on? Like, it got me hooked. It got me hooked. I think maybe about the 3rd or 4th episode. You know. Second one, I was like, huh. But also, I like the fact, like I said, I keep saying this, and I know that I like the fact that they give you the backstory, and they didn't wait till, like, the second season to give you the backstory of kind of each character, and I'm liking that they gave it to you in the midst of all this chaos is going on around them, which sometimes it didn't seem appropriate, and then sometimes it seemed appropriate, but, you know, you roll with it. You're like, okay, fine. At least now I know what's going on with her, and I know what's going on with him. So it seems very interesting. So, how would I rate Doom Patrol? Okay, so if I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna give it a 5-star rating. So if I'm gonna do a 5-star rating, I should probably start doing that. Like, if I should just give a 5-star rating and see. Honestly, guys, I would actually give this a 3.5 stars. Just because I'm still getting into it. And the story is a little wonky. Like I said, once it ends, I'll probably change my ratings. But yeah, it's not, horrible, if you're not watching anything else. But, yeah, so that is my review of DC Universe's Doom Patrol. Again, you can take it with a grain of salt. Please let me know what you think about it. Have you watched it, and have you read the comments? Do you think that the live action has given it justice, or you think that is a total washout? So, yeah. And don't forget to catch the Little Crafter Show, which is on YouTube. That is my show. That has a lot of different stuff. Lately I've been trying to do a lot more, like I promised, nail stuff, and hopefully I can get some manicures up. Well, pedis, or, not pedis. Pedis are feet. I don't do my feet. I have somebody else do it because I can't reach. But, like, you guys need to know that. Okay, too much TMI. Sorry about that. So what I wanted to say was that I just have a video up of some reviews of, first impressions reviews of what I got in my Mani boxes. My Mani and Me boxes from Maniology. Super excited about that, and hopefully I will be giving you guys some Manis with some of the products that I already have and some of the products that I'm getting shipped in. Alrighty, so if you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. You can always email me your comments or questions. My email address is eileen@eileenlittlecrafter.com. And if you like more information about this show or anything else that I talk about, please head on over to my website. My website is eileenlittlecrafter.com. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to hear from me. And if you have enjoyed this podcast, please give that like button a hit. And I will catch you next week. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.